Hi, my name is Yvonne Young, and I would like to give my experience speech. And I would like to speak of my experience from locating from St. Louis, Missouri to Houston, Texas. In 1995, I made a decision to relocate to Houston, Texas. Granted, I do not have any family here, and at the time, I didn't have any family here. It was just a choice I made to probably better my living situation that was occurring around me in Houston, Texas. At the time, my sons were 14 and 15, but I also had procrastinated for 14 years before making the move. Also during that time, crime was really prevalent in the neighborhood where we grew up. Gunshots and gangs and drugs, and I wanted to get my sons out that type of environment. I had a really good friend that lived in Houston, Texas, that always encouraged me to move to Houston. Again, like I say, I procrastinated for 14 years. But at that time, I had just graduated with my associate's degree, actually 2 associate degrees, and didn't have a job. And I made a decision this was the time to move to Houston. Needless to say, my mom was the last person I told that I was moving to Houston. I had friends and some family asked me, have you told Mom yet? And no, I had not told her. And when I did tell her, it was probably 2 or 3 days prior to my leaving. And she asked me why was I doing it, and I told her that I would like to move to Houston and find a job. And she asked me, well, couldn't I find a job in St. Louis? I said, yes, but I don't want to. And my sons actually didn't want to move with me. They wanted to stay with their granny. And I mentioned to them, no, you're coming to Houston with me. And when I moved to Houston, I moved in with my good friend. I did not have an apartment. I did not have a job. And I didn't really have money. I actually only had $200 in my pocket. And one of those was borrowed. And then actually my one friend, really good friend that I graduated from the junior college there, told me that I could keep the $100 as a graduation gift. So again, here I am now in Houston, Texas, with my 2 sons, 14 and 15, and I actually left six rooms of furniture. I caught the Greyhound bus to Houston with just 2 suitcases, and that's it. So determined to make a positive change in my life. That's how drastic it was. And lived with my friend and her husband and 3 kids and a dog and a cat. And I lived with her for 2 months. Then we moved right around the corner from her. I rented a place. I now had a temporary job. And I didn't even have enough down payment for the apartment, and I begged this lady to allow me to move into the apartment, and I begged her. And she granted me the opportunity to move in. I told her I would give her her money. And I always remember her name. Her name was Marguerite. And she was really nice to let me go ahead and move and trust that I was going to give her her money. And so that's how I moved into the first apartment right around the corner from my good friend whom I was sharing the house with. Or she was sharing her house with me and my 2 sons. And so that was a real good deal because we now live right around the corner from her. My son and her sons went to the same high school together. And so they at least had someone in Houston that they knew, and I knew as well. The job situation was a really good job because, again, it was a temporary job, but that temporary job turned into a permanent position. And I didn't have too bad an experience finding a job because of my typing skills. I typed 100 words a minute at the time, and my proofreading skills. So they were really eager to have me join the team. But my life lesson here for moving was I had not really searched out a neighborhood. I didn't know the schooling system, and I wasn't sure who my employer was going to be. So the life lesson for me is I probably should have thought about what neighborhood I was going to move in. Think of the better school system for the boys as well as maybe where I was going to work. But overall, I'm very fortunate and happy that I made the decision. My sons ended up doing very well in high school. Both of them ended up joining the military. And we had and have a great life here. And it's now been almost 20 years that I've lived in Houston, and I have no regrets. Thank you.